Guys. Chapter 2, just let me briefly go over chapter 2. Of course, you have the lecture notes. So make sure you go to D2L, um, go to the content tab, click on week 2, and then you should be able to find chapter 2. All right. So if you remember, I told you in chapter 1 that we kind of jump from one topic to another in both chapters 1 and 2. And you probably remember that we covered different definitions and terminologies in chapter 1. I'm going to do the same thing kind of in chapter 2. And remember that the important part of chapter 2 is the circular flow model we have at the end of this chapter. And I gave you the assumptions of circular flow in another kind of video. So definitely go and watch it. And again, I'm going to remind you that not for this chapter specifically, but in the future, I tried to kind of break down the important topics in kind of shorter video. So for instance, when you studied shift in demand, you can just go and watch that video for 10 minutes, get all the information you want, and then you can move on to the next topic. But I will do also these kind of weekly videos where I try to explain what's going on in each chapter and kind of force you to look at the lecture notes one time at least with me. So I hope that you find it helpful. But again, for important topics, I'm not going to spend time in detail in this type of videos because I already recorded the ones that covers a specific topic. All right, so this chapter is about market system, circular flow. We will talk a little bit about a specialization, which is kind of macroeconomic topic. But let me start this chapter. So again, bear with me. We're going to cover different topics, but I promise you starting chapter 3, we're focused on just one specific topic, all right? So the first topic we have in this chapter is about economic system and 3 different economic system. If you look into different textbooks, you can find different types of economic systems, or if you Google it, you might find different kind of classification for economic system, but we are going to follow our textbook, okay? But before we talk about different economic system, let me just define what economic system is, and then we can look at different types of economic system we have in our textbook. So you have one economic system if you have one government at top, which is basically the decision maker in this kind of system, and then you have different institutions that this central government is organizing, um, controlling. Like, let me give you an example. Like the Department of Education can be one institution, Department of Transportation, Bureau of Labor Statistics, Census. These are all different institutions that that can operate under the control of the central government that we have. So now we have one economic system. We have different economic system depending on the role of government in the economy, okay? And we have 3 different economic systems in our textbook. The first one is called laissez-faire capitalism, which is a French word. We have command system, then we have market economy or market system. Laissez-faire and command system are basically 2 kind of extreme economic system we have. So if you want to put these 3 economic system on a spectrum, you have laissez-faire in one end, and then you have the command system on the other end, and then you have this market system in the middle. In the laissez-faire capitalism, we believe that there is no need for government intervention in the economy whatsoever. So basically, the government doesn't have an active role in the economy, and the only thing that the government should do in the economy is to set rules and regulations and protect our properties. That's the only thing and the only role that the supporters of the laissez-faire capitalism want for the government, okay? Is it realistic? Obviously not. So we really don't have any country that adopted this laissez-faire capitalism 100%. But again, if you think about that spectrum, you can put probably Hong Kong and New Zealand kind of very close to the end of that spectrum when the laissez-faire capitalism is, okay? But again, we do not really have any real life example, all right, for laissez-faire, because it's kind of extreme. Zero government intervention is kind of unrealistic, in my opinion, okay? So that's one of the economic system, kind of type of economic system, okay, laissez-faire capitalism. So zero kind of government intervention, all right? And then we have command system. It's kind of the opposite of laissez-faire. And you're probably familiar with command system. If you watched the movie Interview, it was about North Korea. It was the comedy. I don't know if you watched it. It was, I don't know how many years back. But I remembered I paid it on YouTube to watch this, like $2.99. It was okay. It was kind of funny, but it was about North Korea. Okay, so command system, unlike laissez-faire, believes in 100% government control and intervention in the economy, okay? So in the command system, we have a super active government. We really don't have that much private sector. The government decides what type of goods and services we should produce. The government owns the resources and factors of production. The government decides how we're going to distribute the goods and services in the economy, which sector the workers' labor should work is also decided by the government. So basically, you have a very active government, which is kind of um, that controls basically everything. And other names we have for this command system are, we probably heard about them, socialism, communism. They're kind of like extreme, as I said. So North Korea, Cuba, they all have a command system. I sometimes get this question, especially in class, that can we also count China as command system? And the answer is no. In the past, China was also in this category, and we would put actually China as an example here. But because of the some of the reforms that China did in the past and had in the past, and because of the rise of this private sector, which is kind of active in China, we do not count China as a command system. But again, if you think about that, the spectrum, China is very close still to command system. Even Russia, they're very, very close to command system. They're not completely command like North Korea and Cuba, but they're very close. They have some common kind of characteristic with the command system. All right. Then majority of countries that we know, they all adopted this market system, which is kind of between laissez-faire and command, and they are more kind of realistic. To be honest with you, they are we kind of have the balance between government intervention in the economy, the decisions that are coming from individuals. We have a very active private sector in market economy or market system. US, Canada, Japan, many of the European countries, and as I said, any country that you can literally think about, they have this market system. So you have lots and lots of investment in technology and R&D in market system, lots of competition in market system. The workers can decide where they want to work, in which market they want to work, if they want to work in a domestic market, international market. Even the producers and the private producers can own resources and factors of production, and they can purchase actually the resources from any market, again, that they want, local, overseas, it doesn't really matter. What else? The individuals can achieve the maximum kind of satisfaction, which is their goal, to be happy, easily in this market, in this economic system, in the market economy. The producers also can achieve the maximum profit that they are actually working for, and they are hoping for, easily in the market system, because of the nature of this economic system. Okay, so market system, as I said, it's kind of in between, is between laissez-faire and command system. Okay. Another topic we have in this chapter is about a specialization. Again, this is a kind of a macro topic. If you are an econ major, you probably learn more in more kind of advanced macroeconomic courses that you will take. If you are not an econ major, probably this is the only time that you are going to hear about a specialization. But let me just give you what a specialization is. So um in the past, people with would produce anything that they wanted to consume. So if they wanted to drink milk, they would have a cow. If they wanted to build a house, they would design their own house, they would build it. If they wanted to eat fruits and vegetables, they would grow their own fruits and vegetables. But over time, people understood that it's hard. They are not able to produce everything by themselves. It's just costly. They don't have enough information about it. Um, they don't have all the resources that they want. So they decided actually, okay, maybe I should just focus on producing only those goods and services that are easy for me. They have lower opportunity costs for me to produce. I am good at producing them. I have enough knowledge about them, and buy the rest of the stuff that I want from others in the society. That's how we had this idea of a specialization and division of labor. We started having farmers, teacher, builders, nurses, right? So we had this division of labor where everybody was kind of focused on producing only those goods and services that they were good at and they were able to produce at the lower opportunity cost. And that was the first time that people were starting having trade within their communities. And then of course we saw this trade at the bigger scale among countries where we have this export and import. Export is when you sell something to other countries, okay? When US sells, let's say, shoes to the rest of the world, we are exporting shoes to rest of the world, okay? Um, and we also have import, which is kind of the opposite of export. Import is when you purchase other goods and services from other countries. Let's say we buy avocados from Mexico. So we are importing avocados from Mexico to United States. So the first step toward basically this trade is specialization, okay? Recognizing what type of goods and services we as a country can produce, or we as a producer, as an individual can produce at a lower opportunity cost. If the opportunity cost is high for you, you should never ever produce that product. You should buy it from somebody else because it's just cheaper for you, right? So a specialization is kind of the foundation of trade and international trade. When it comes to trade and specialization, there are two important terminologies that I want you to be kind of informed about. And I'm not going to ask any question um, on the test, but since you're taking econ and you probably hear about comparative advantage and absolute advantage, I just want you guys to kind of have an idea about them, or if you are an econ major. So comparative advantage is when a person, a producer, or a country is able to produce, let's say, product X at the lower opportunity cost compared to another country or another producer. So when it comes to comparative advantage, it's all about opportunity cost. Who has lower opportunity cost? Whoever has lower opportunity cost in producing between, let's say, country A and country B in producing, let's say, coffee, has comparative advantages in making coffee, okay, or growing coffee. Makes sense? But absolute advantage is all about who can produce more of most of the goods and services. It is not about opportunity cost. It's all about which producer or which country is able to produce more um, goods and services compared to others. Let me show you an example. So we have US and China here, and we have only two products, DVDs and shoes. If you look at these numbers, you should be able to tell that US for sure has absolute advantage in producing both DVDs and shoes, because if you compare the DVDs, US is producing 250 DVDs, China 30, 500 shoes versus 300 shoes for China. So overall, US is doing better, right? US is producing more of both goods. So definitely United States has absolute advantage here. But if you look at comparative advantage, it's not really as easy as it looks. If you just look at these numbers, you can't really tell that which country has comparative advantage in, let's say, shoes. If you look at shoes, United States is producing 500 shoes, but China is producing 300 shoes. But if you calculate the opportunity cost here for shoes, you will see that China actually has lower opportunity cost in making shoes. In the other word, China is sacrificing less number of DVDs to produce more shoes. Remember how we define opportunity cost in chapter 1? Opportunity cost is what you are giving up to gain more. So for China to gain more shoes, China actually is giving up less DVDs compared to US. And in fact, if you calculate the opportunity cost here for shoes for both countries, you will see that the opportunity cost actually is lower for China, meaning that however United States has absolute advantage in producing both products, but China has comparative advantage in making shoes because China has a lower opportunity cost in making shoes. And if you calculate the opportunity cost for DVDs, you will see that US actually has lower opportunity cost for DVDs. So United States has comparative advantage in DVDs, but United States does not have comparative advantage in shoes. It means that it's more costly for US to produce um, to produce more shoes. It's more costly because US should give up more shoes. Sorry, more DVDs. I was just distracted. Sorry. All right. So moving on, the next topic, which is easy, and I want you guys to read it on your own, and you will get one very, very simple question on the midterm exam. It's about 5 fundamental questions in economics. It's super easy. I even put the answers for you. These are the 5 questions we have in econ. I left brief answers to each question for you on the notes. Easy. I really don't want to spend time talking about them. You can also read if you want, but nothing really hard for you to understand. So I'm just skipping that. And I'm going to move on to the circular flow model. And as I said, I did a separate video on assumptions for the circular flow. Like it's a closed economy here. We do not have any government. We do not have any bank. We do not have any savings. It's a closed economy, so we do not have any trade with other countries. So no import, no export. We have 2 markets here, and this is kind of the first time we're talking about market. We have a product market where the households and our businesses can basically interact with each other, and it is a market that all the goods and services are bought and sold. We have a resource market, another market that gives opportunity to our businesses and our individuals to interact, and it is a market that all of those factors of production we had in chapter 1, land, labor, capital, are bought and sold. What is this circular flow model, before I show you, is all about? The circular flow model is all about how a simple closed economy works, okay? A very basic economy. How goods and services are regulating in the economy, how producers and buyers are interacting with each other, how money is circulating in the economy, dollar bill is circulating in the economy, okay? That's what we're basically talking about in the circular flow. So in terms of the test, I know that we all the time think about the test. You need to know the assumptions. You need to know how who the components are in this model, which is firms, households, and these 2 markets that I was talking about, how they are related. It's called circular flow. So we have 2 different flows here. The first one is called real flow, and real flow is all about how goods and services are circulating, how in the economy, how resources, factors of productions are circulating. And the other flow we have is money, how money is circulating in the economy. And it's just basically like telling you story about what's going on in a simple economy. And I'm going to start with my red flow, which is the real flow. So household, by assumptions, one of the assumptions, they are the only owners of resources, factors of production. Okay, so it's like you have all the land, labor, capital. As a household, these are your assets. Okay, so households can make money basically by selling these land, labor, capital, these resources, these factors of production. But how they can sell them, how they can showcase these factors of production, they need a place. That place is the resource market. So the households will take the resources to the resource market. They try to basically show the demanders, which is businesses, producers here in our model, what they have, and they can sell these resources they have to the businesses. Okay, so if you're looking for a job, this is the market that you go and fill out an application, the resource market, right? Because you have the labor. If you have a house, a land that you want to sell, this is the market you go to, resource market. Okay, and businesses are, by assumptions, are the only producers we have, but there's no government, so government cannot be a producer here. So we only have one producer, businesses. So businesses, when they want to produce different goods and services, they go to the resource market, they hire workers, they buy the capital they need, they rent an office they want, and they can produce all the goods and services, and they want also to make money, right? So they will take the products that they produce, the goods and services. I hope that you're following this. If I zoom out, if I come out of my slides, let me see if I can go kind of step by step here. Oh, it doesn't show. I'm talking about this part of my graph. So the businesses took all the resources, and now they produced all the goods and services. So they're going to take all these goods and services to the product market. Okay, so they produced everything. They produce everything. They have their goods and services. They go to Walmart, to HEB, to Amazon, to the product market, and they showcase these goods and services that they have. We only have one buyer for these goods and services, households. So that's the place that we go. Households, individuals can go purchase whatever they want. That's the real flow. So real flow started from households and is coming back to the households, okay? And you have this circulation of resources and goods and services over and over again in the economy. But we know that nothing is free. So now let's talk about how households and businesses can make money, right? So now I want you guys to pay attention to businesses and to the blue arrows, I should say. So when businesses purchase the resources and factors of production, when they hire a worker, when they buy a land, they buy capital, they have to pay, right? Because nothing is free. When you work for somebody as an individual, you are looking for your income, right? For your salary at the end of the month. So when businesses use the resources that they purchase in the resource market, they have to make a payment. That's why we have these costs. By cost, these are the costs that businesses should pay for using factors of production, which are nothing but the wages they pay to the workers, the rent they pay to the landlord, the interest rates, the profits that they make, which go all the way to the household, because household were the only owners of resources by assumption in our circular flow model. With the money that households actually made in the resource market, now they can go to the product market, they can go to Walmart, HEB, Macy's, Nordstrom, Amazon, and they can purchase whatever they want there. And since we do not have a bank, a financial market, they are not going to be able to save anything. So they're going to spend all the money they made on goods and services, and whatever they spend, all these spending on goods and services will go back to businesses, which is the revenue for businesses. So the blue arrows are called money flow, starting from businesses going back to businesses. So this is probably the important part of chapter 2 that I want you guys to pay attention. And the best way to learn the circular flow, which is just a story behind a basic economy, is to redraw everything, know the components, know the real flow, money flow, okay, and you should be fine. All right, I hope that you find this video helpful. I'll see you soon.